Hello, I'm John McAllister with the John McAllister Report. And as I try to go cover a lot of areas of sports, obviously, mostly coaching and players. But today I've gotten to know Lynn Groll, who is the founder of the Black Swamp Football. It's a group in Northwest Ohio. They put out a magazine, a preseason magazine. They have a showcase in the spring. They do one game a week and podcast. But I'm excited for it. I'm excited for him. 100, almost 200 pages of information in a magazine. And it's really good. I want to see if I can get it here. There, Black Swamp Football, the annual preseason high school football magazine. Lynn has been doing it for 7 years, I think. Former sports writer for the Defiance Crescent. He's been around sports his whole life, and so I'm looking forward to talking to him. I mean, what an amazing accomplishment that he's done. And he has great people working for him. People that I know, coaches that I know, and Northwest Ohio, and the magazine itself covers 55 schools, 55 high school football programs. And so if you'll sit back and listen to my video podcast with sports writer, sports magazine author Lynn Groll from near Napoleon, Ohio. Okay, like I said earlier, my guest tonight is Lynn Groll from Northwest Ohio. Now, I looked at his background. I don't think he ever left Ayersville, Defiance, all that area. That's where you're primarily from. You graduated from Ayersville, right?
Originally from Ayersville, yes.
Yep. Okay. Lynn, it's caught my eye. We've talked about it. I want to introduce you. Tell me, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well. And John, I'm honored, humbled to have you interview me. You are one of the most respected guys there are in the media world. I listen to everything you do. You do it for the right reasons. You do it for the kids. I don't want to get into all that, but there's a lot out there that aren't doing it for the kids, and you do it for the right reasons. And
we might share that later. But as I told you, and we don't have to hug you, but you're doing it the right way, or I wouldn't be doing this show with you. Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
it. The other thing is, when you told me this is the full-time thing that you do, that's amazing to me. In this world, it's amazing. You've done such a great job. And I really appreciate you taking the time, because I know you're busy. And we're going to do this a little bit different tonight. But first of all, Lynn, give me a little background. Give us because, who's Lynn Groll? Okay, a little background.
Yeah, for sure. Grew up in Ayersville on a family farm. Did not play football, actually. I was a baseball guy, but football's always been kind of something that I've always loved. And I worked at the Crescent and for 17 years. Actually wanted to be a history teacher and coach some kind of sport, football, baseball, whatever it may be. And I was working part-time at the Crescent, and they offered me a full-time job there, and got into the media world as a journalist and changed my life plan. And here I am now, and started Black Swamp Football in 2019 after I got out of the Crescent News. Former Defiance College coach Manny Matsakis used to do a high school football magazine down in Southeast Ohio. He got into Columbus and West Virginia. So he always had kind of mentioned to me that if you want to get into the high school football magazine type deal, let me know. And he helped me out in 2019. Got started with our first year, we covered 24 schools, and now we're up to 55 here in year number 6.
That's what I saw, and that's what I was going to ask you. I think you have 55 schools in Northwest Ohio. Those are football playing schools, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
When I first started out, it was a magazine. Obviously not like yours, but I couldn't make enough money. It was a Tom Lemming wannabe.
Yeah.
And that's where I got started many, many years ago. And so that's what started. And it got me in. And, part of it is, and I think it's with you, Lynn, and we talk about integrity and honesty and loyalty to the kids and stuff, but just be honest with them. I read all this garbage and they rate these kids, and I think they pull out the newest slang words for, he's a hitter. No, you don't have to sugarcoat all these guys. But let's talk about first then, Lynn. I got at the bottom there, and I think that's really who you are. But let's go here, the Black Swamp. Let's talk about that. I could not get my printer to print a copy of the preseason. I thought maybe you might have one in front of you there. You might not, but just exactly. Tell me about that. Tell me about the Black Swamp Preseason High School Football Magazine.
Yeah, we usually try to do around 15, 16 player features of the top players in our area. The most important one to me is we do a military feature, and kind of the prerequisites of that is it's a person that played high school football and then went on to serve in the military.
Oh, wow.
And are a veteran. And this year's is on Ayersville's Chad Giesecke, who actually his brother and my brother were best friends growing up at Ayersville, played on Ayersville's 86 state runner-up team that lost to Newark Catholic. And his younger brother, Chad, was a combat controller in the Air Force. And pick up a copy, you can read about it, but just incredible stuff. And that's just the one that is always near and dear to my heart is the military. Those are the true heroes. And then we have 55 team previews in there as well. They're anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 or 5 pages, depending on how much information the coach gets me. And that's what it is. We have 192 pages. We're about around 200 pages each year with it. And that's where we stand.
It's really good. And when do you start doing your preseason tab? When do you start doing write-ups and things like that?
I try to knock out the features earlier in the year, January, February, March. Yeah. And then the coaches are so great around here, John. I got to commend them because I send out a questionnaire to them. And this year I sent it out in I actually think I sent it out in March. Usually I wait till May, but then I sent it out in March. And a lot of them, I mean, they get it back to me the next day or that same day back in March. They're familiar enough with their programs and know what's going on this year, and they get it back to me. Then there's some that, take a little bit longer. If there's a new coach, obviously I understand that takes a little bit more time to get the info, but the coaches are great. I can't thank them enough because without their cooperation, I obviously couldn't do this.
My goodness, no. And the other thing with that, now remember I talked earlier about accountability and loyalty and honesty. That's where you come across. I mean, they wouldn't do that. I mean, I've been in this game a long time, and that's one thing that helped me is they trusted me, and they trust you to do the right things. And so that's really good. When you do your top 15, how do you I always worry sometimes that people go on what other people say, trying to please them. How do you do your top 15 or 20?
That's not me. I'm not trying to please anybody else. I kind of go with what coaches tell me. I try to get some input from coaches. I try to get some input from my colleagues in the media world as well. And that's just me. I'm not trying to, please somebody else. This is trying to figure out the top players kind of in my mind and what coaches in the area tell me.
Okay, give me about 5-10 seconds. Hold it up again and let's see if we can get the whole thing. Yeah, you just keep it there. That's better than your face. So let's hold that up for a while. More valuable. Okay, that's the Black Swamp Football preseason view. Now on the cover, you've got some of the top players, and I must mention Mason because nobody knew about Mason, but McAllister exposed him last preseason. He's done a good job. And then do you have coaching features as well?
We usually try to, Bill Inselman, Patrick Henry's coach, who was actually the all-time winningest coach now in this area's history. Now Greg Dempsey's is closing fast there, as you know. But Bill has been at PH for a few decades, and have enjoyed following him. Usually we try to do a coaching feature too, a local legend and that sort of thing as well.
Yeah, that's really good. I know Bill, of course. Who was the guy that years ago was at Liberty Center?
Oh, Rex Lindgren.
Rex Lindgren. What a guy. Got to move through track, then through football. I'd want him on my backside if I go into a bar. I'll tell you that.
I'll tell you that too. And quick story. And Torrey Strock and I were broadcasting Liberty Center State Championship game against Perry last December in Canton. And Rex was actually in the same box with us, Coach Lynn. And I mean, it was just, and Torrey and I talked on the way home. It was one of the most special days of our lives. And Torrey played quarterback for Rex in the early 90s. But it was one of those moments where I don't know how you describe it, having Rex Lindgren in the same box with you, a legend. And Rex he's such a fun guy, as you know. You can joke with him and he will give it back to you as hard as anybody. But one of the greatest guys in the coaching world that this area has ever seen.
Small world. I watched while I was I think I was the official, the discus official, head official for the regionals, and I'd always see his daughters there.
Yep.
Throwing and then Rex, and then the lady was the lady track coach. I mean, I don't know her, but I got to know her. But boy, what a competitor she was!
Oh yeah,
and good and smart.
Yeah,
but boy, she competed.
Yeah, and I live in the Liberty Center School District now, John, and I've gotten to know a lot of Rex's former players, and they actually had some very hotly contested badminton games back in the day. He was the phys ed teacher, the gym teacher at Liberty Center, and they had some badminton. And if you know Rex, he's as competitive of a person as you've ever met. He won't lose. He'll bend the rules until he wins. I'll put it that way.
Well, I know he played Coach Mock at Kenton, and I know that was something.
Yeah.
I think it was an all-star game, maybe, or I don't know what it was, but no, they played. Okay, one more thing on Black Swamp Football Magazine preseason. How do we go about getting it?
We have it at about 25 locations right now. Adding to that, there's a list on our website. You have our website up there, blackswampfootball.com. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and I update where the locations are every day that are distributing it. And then we're adding more every day and every week. Okay. And you can if you want to have it mailed to you, we've mailed it to Pennsylvania, Florida, Alabama, Washington State, all over. You can go on our website and order it right on there, and we'll mail it to you.
Okay, let's go second. I think this is coming up, the kickoff tailgate party.
It is.
Oh, that right. Tell me about the kickoff tailgate party.
Yes, so we have 27 teams coming on Sunday to Liberty Center to a convenience store called American Freedom Energy. We asked for a coach to bring 2, 3, 4, 5 kids with them. We'll do an 8-10 minute interview with them. Torrey Strock, Neil Schuler, who does the NLL and CHSL coverage for us, he will be there as well. And we just do an interview, try to kick off the season. We start at noon, and we're probably going to be there till about 5 o'clock. And you can watch it on our YouTube channel too. We'll stream it on there.
You're 27 different schools?
Yes. Yep.
That's really good. And
then we do a separate kickoff tailgate for the NLL and the Catholic High School League, St. Francis, St. John's, and Toledo Central.
Separate.
Yeah. Yep. So a couple separate ones. This one's our first one. More the ones kind of west and south of Toledo is what this one is for.
Primarily your true Northwest, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, you can say that. Yes.
That might be fair to say, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got that. We have that, and then we have the weekly game coverage during the season. Tell me about that then, Lynn.
Yep, we do Neil, Torrey, and I do a weekly podcast. We'll break down the games for the area for that week that we cover, give some predictions. They're not always the best predictions, but we try to do our best. And
when does this come out?
We started this in 20.
No, I'm sorry. I meant when, what time, what day does it?
Usually it's Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Monday or Tuesday, wherever you listen to your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, or you can go on our website. It's on there too. Just search for Black Swamp Football and you'll find it. But that's usually Monday, Tuesday is what we try to do. And then we also do a football show. We're changing kind of the tenor of that to more legends of the area.
Okay.
So past great players, past great coaches, that type of thing. And then on Friday nights, Tori and I do a game cast. We'll do a broadcast of a game with audio.
Okay. I thought I had that, but I don't know. So you do a one game. Shoot, I had that someplace. You do one game a week, then an actual podcast of a game.
Yes. Yep.
Some games.
Audio of it. Yep. And then also Saturday morning, Tori and I get up and we'll do a what we call Rise and Rewind.
Right.
And we will recap all of the Friday night games the night before.
Okay, let's go down here. And like I said, let's go to the weekly coaches show. Have we discussed that yet?
Yeah, and that it used to be a coaches show in the past, and we're kind of changing that to more of a legends type thing. We will still have some coaches on there. It's just hard to get coaches to come out on a Monday or Tuesday night, and I don't like to always bug them to take an hour out of their time or whatever to come out on a Monday or Tuesday night. We still will kind of mix that into our football show, but it's going to be a little bit more geared towards some folks of the past around the area.
Okay. And then we talked about this, and we're doing really well time wise. Okay, I really liked this last year. Now this is almost a year away, but it's something that you guys did up there, coaches, and I know you were into it big time. So Lynn, what's that about? I mean, promote that for me, please.
Yeah, we did a prospect camp, and this is more geared towards the D2, D3, NAIA kids. The D1 kids, as you know, they get enough of attention. D1 kids, there's some rules I know that coaches can't come to this type of thing. So that makes it a little more difficult. But we're trying to get these kids that maybe don't get looked at as much to a camp and be seen by the smaller colleges. And this was something that, Columbus Grove coach Andy Schaefer, that Andy and I have talked about this for a few years, and finally it came to fruition this year. Napoleon coach Tyler Swery helped big time, and then Patrick Henry, co-defensive coordinator, I should say, Ben George. They both did yeoman's work on this aspect of things for this year and got it organized. And we want to do it every year. We want to get kids looked at, and hopefully they can play at the next level for those that want to.
For what it means, I thought you did a really good job first time out.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I really did. I'd have to sit and think about little things to maybe run 2 drills. I don't know, little things. But for the most part, you guys did a really good job with it. And coaches were working and kids were listening. And I think anytime I've run camps and combines, but is number of reps, and then don't be standing around. I mean, because then pretty soon kids get bored, and they start talking, and they focus is completely gone. Okay, I talked about it, and it's my fault. I didn't put it up there, but tell me about the Rise and Rewind. I think that's important for kids to listen to too.
Yeah, yeah. This was actually something that Tori Strock came up with a year ago. I think we did the Defiance Napoleon game on Thursday, and then I can't remember the game we did on Friday. And we were driving home, and he said we should do a Saturday morning recap show, and Rise and Rewind was born, and we just kind of recap the Friday night action from the night before, give some stats, give some insight that we have, and it really took off. People really enjoyed it. Obviously, the radio, you don't have the local radio that like they used to, in the 80s and 90s. You turn on the radio and you could listen to the scores and the stats after the games. There just isn't that anymore, and we just thought there was an opportunity for us to kind of highlight the area programs with that show.
So that's a podcast then, right?
Yep, it is.
Right now you don't do, but I think I've seen you on YouTube. Do you do any video podcasts then?
Our podcasts are just audio. Our football show is on YouTube.
That's what it is. I saw your football show.
And our kickoff shows are on YouTube as well. Yes.
Okay, that's really good. We're going to tie it up here. 20 minutes goes fast.
Yes.
Right? So tell me, let's recognize. I got to recognize Mr. Schuler because I've talked with him with his son. They played at Toledo St. John's, I'm pretty sure. But tell me about and Troy Strock. I remember him from when he was coaching days. So tell me about the people that worked with you, just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. The first person I want to highlight is our magazine designer, graphic designer, Julianne Schaefer. Without her, none of this would be possible. She puts in countless time. She's already working on next year's, John. She's working on 2025's magazine already.
Wow. And she does a great job.
She does. She's fabulous with her design. I always told Tori when he got out of coaching, I wanted him to join Black Swamp Football, and that was this will be his third year now that he's been a part of Black Swamp Football. And Tori's so well respected, as you know, in Northwest Ohio. Right. Just a good guy. Same with Neil Schuler. Neil's son AJ is now at Dayton, but he got out of coaching at St. John's a couple years ago, and I told him, I said, hey, when you get out, why don't you cover the Toledo area for us? And he jumped on board. And I tell you what, I can't tell you how many coaches, every coach in the NLL and Catholic High School League has told me how much they appreciate Neil. He's been an incredible asset. He's in it for the kids. He does it for the kids, and we've talked about that.
You know what? His son did the exact correct thing if he wanted to play football. He's got to get a great education. Mm-hmm. He's got to play, and he's not too far from home. And these kids, so many of these players have the illusions and delusions of everybody playing at Ohio State. Well, that's not going to happen. In fact, right now in Ohio, it's less happening. But I think that his son AJ did a really, really smart move. Plus, he's going to make money, get an education. Okay, I really appreciate you being on. I hope I've helped you. And is there anything you want to add?
No, just thank you for the opportunity. This is a true honor, John. I'm not trying to just blow smoke. I mean, you're one of the guys that I respect, and I know people, coaches, parents around this area respect you because you're real. You don't none of that fake stuff. It's the real thing. You're trying to help the kids. You're honest with them. And I think that's important in this day and age in our world.
Okay, my last promise here. Last thing. People are going to want to know and I do know, where did Black Swamp come from? Swamp Football.
This is just known as the Great Black Swamp.
Yeah, that whole area, isn't it?
That whole area, yep. And that's where the genesis of that came from. Yes, sir.
Really good. Lynn Groll, thank you very, very much for being on my program. I appreciate it, and we got to get this out there for you. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, John, and keep up the great work. We appreciate what you do, and we'll continue listening to you. I urge people to.
Let's go one more here. First of all, let's go here. And if anybody's listening, blackswampfootball.com. That'll get you a lot of information. And then the last thing is get that magazine. Find out where it is. You can Google this stuff and you can get it there. Appreciate it. Lynn, again, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you.